So I'd known about Vine for a while, and I always wanted to get in. If you're reading Amazon reviews and you see that green lettering at the top of a review saying that this person's part of the Vine program, they got this for free in exchange for a review, I was like, that's what I want to do. Unfortunately, there's no way to apply for this. You just have to try to write good reviews, and if Amazon thinks you're a helpful, trusted voice in the community, supposedly they will notice you, and then they will send you an invitation to the Vine program. That's how it's supposed to work. So over the years, I have occasionally written a few reviews that I put a lot of effort into, and it didn't work. I never got noticed. And we weren't buying a whole lot of stuff from Amazon anyway, because we don't buy a lot of things. We didn't have the money to buy a lot of things. And whenever we did buy something, it was, you know, shop for the cheapest price, which is not always Amazon. But the beginning of this year, I got a little bit of money from a car accident payout from about 7 years ago. That's a whole story. But I was like, okay, I can buy some things now that we've been needing for a while. Things like, okay, we have a baby. Maybe let's get a bath mat so that we're not laying our baby on the cold, hard bathroom floor after a bath. We've gone a really long time not buying basics like this. And so I had a little bit of money, and I started just buying a ton of basics for our house. And I was like, you know what? Since I'm getting all this stuff, let me go ahead and try to, you know, write good reviews for them. Let's see if I can get into the Vine program. And so I spent about, I want to say about 6 weeks trying really hard. Writing reviews, it might sound like it's easy, but if you're putting a lot of thought into it, if you're really trying to be helpful, it actually takes quite a bit of time. And after about 6 weeks, I was like, I just can't keep this up. It's a pipe dream. What am I even doing? And I stopped doing reviews. Fast forward to end of March of this year, I had a birthday, and a friend of mine sent me an Amazon gift card by email. And I didn't get it. I just didn't notice it. She texts me and she's like, hey, by the way, just want to make sure you got my gift card. And so I searched my email for the word Amazon. And not only did I find her gift card, but I found an email from Amazon being like, hey, we want to invite you into the Vine program. Best birthday gift ever. Thank you, Susan, for sending me the gift card. Otherwise, I never would have realized that I had been invited to the Vine program. So I was so excited. You have to fill out some tax info, so I did that, and then I was in. Now I have to be careful what I share, because my contract with Amazon says don't share anything that's not public information. But here's what I can tell you. You get to decide which things you get, which things you receive. It's not from the entire Amazon website, so there's kind of a separate thing that you get to pick items from. And oh man, I was like a kid in the candy store. It started with small things like, oh, we can get disposable gloves. Oh wow, that's something I don't have to buy anymore. And then it kind of worked up from there. It's like, wait, they have garden supplies too? I can get a bunch of garden stuff. Oh man, I was just like over the moon. And then it was like, wait a minute, cookware? Like they have brand name cookware? Like really good brands? Cookware, wow, you know, like I just, for about 2 weeks straight, I was just contacting my friends being like, oh, they have this, they got that, I got to get this for free. I got a whole fancy knife set for free. I got this, I got that. I was over the moon. Someone commented that it sounds like you won the lottery, and I was like, I feel like I won the lottery. Never in my life had I just been able to get items that we needed. It was always, if there was something that we needed or that was really significant in order to just be comfortable. Things like getting oven mitts instead of using dish towels or having dish towels, you know, using random fabric, just something like that. I would research it for weeks, trying to make sure I would get something that was going to last us, something that would be worth the money, something that would be cheap. And I would agonize over every small decision because we had lived low budget for so long. And here suddenly it could just be like, oh, that looks good, I'm gonna get it. And the weight that lifted off of my shoulders is just indescribable. When you're living as low income as we have, and people say, oh, do a budget, and it's like, my budget is no fun money, no spending unless absolutely crucially necessary. And living like that for years upon years upon years really takes its toll on you. I was basically starving for stuff, and people are gonna find that funny. People are gonna say, oh, you know, like, but stuff doesn't matter, things don't matter. And yeah, if you have the basics covered so that you're comfortable, then yeah, getting extraneous stuff that's just for fun isn't all that much of an upgrade. But when you don't have these things, oh man, the upgrade, the lifestyle upgrade that we got once I got into Vine was just such a relief. I felt like for the first time I was able to provide for my family. I was able to get Loki fully what he needed. I was able to get like a ton of toys. I mean, I always thought toys was kind of not really all that necessary, but it turns out babies need toys for the mental stimulation. And Loki especially needed a ton of mental stimulation. And agonizing for weeks or months over which thing to get him, he would grow out of needing it before I managed to get it. It's kind of embarrassing to share these things, but it's important to me because a lot of people don't realize how deep it goes when you are low income. So we managed to get bedding, which we only had one set before this. And so if your bedding was in the wash, then you couldn't take a nap. And since Loki's been keeping us up all night, still is, then it was really important for us to take naps during the day. So we rarely washed our sheets because washing your sheets meant that there was a long period of time during the day when neither of us could take a nap. So getting additional sets of sheets was just mind-blowing, you know? Wow! We can do laundry and we can nap during the day. This is a big deal. The Vine program isn't terribly self-explanatory. It really helps to join groups that help explain it. And because the information is confidential, joining private groups is the way to go to figure these things out. So I joined some private groups, and that's when I learned a whole lot more. And my mind was blown all over again because I found out that I could get much more high-value items that I didn't realize I could get before. So once again, kid in a candy store. I mean, I was just over the moon. I was crying. I was just like, this life is so much easier. It was life-changing. It really was. And I say was just because I went through this starved for stuff phase, and then I started getting enough. I started feeling like, okay, I'm okay now. We're okay now. And I started to slow down naturally because we didn't need as much stuff anymore. But it took several months to get to that point. And, you know, I had always heard that, you know, you have to learn to be content with what you have. You're always going to be wanting more and all that. And I didn't find that was the case for me. I feel like what's more accurate for me was that if you're starved of basic comfort items for a really long time, then just like if you're starved for food, initially you are going to stuff yourself full. And we did, and we had packages stacked up actually, yes, blocking the front door at times. You know, I would sometimes receive a dozen packages in a day, and then the next day would be 5, and the next day would be 10, you know, that sort of a thing is a lot. And we have a small house, and it kind of got overstuffed for a bit, maybe is a little bit still, because I wasn't sure the appropriate way to get rid of the items, which I'll get to in a little bit. But yeah, initially, like, my dad was joking, like, where are you gonna put all the stuff? And it did feel like I would never be satisfied. I would talk to my friends, and I was like, maybe I'm just a really materialistic person. I didn't realize this would matter so much to me. But it did slow down. The other thing that contributes to the desire to slow down is that when you're ordering this much stuff, it actually becomes a full-time job. It does take 40 hours a week to open all of the things, test them out, even just testing them out for a few days, and then writing a good review. By good, I mean a helpful review. It can be 1 star, 2 stars. It's the program does not require you to do a certain number of stars, and it doesn't penalize you for doing 1-star reviews. So by good, I mean helpful. And if you're ordering a lot of items, then yeah, it will be a full-time job. And I started to get behind, and especially because I got sick for a few weeks, and that was really rough. So I started to slow down naturally. And now it's more like a part-time job. I don't calculate how many hours a week I put into it, but you do get to decide how much stuff you receive, or if you want to receive anything at all. You can take breaks, and that's fine. So I love how in control of it you are. There isn't like a minimum necessary that you need to order per week or anything like that. So that's a really good thing about the program. Oh yeah, one of the things that Vine made possible, just to give you an example, we were able to turn a section of our basement into a kind of impromptu guest room so that a friend of ours could come and live with us. And that was just incredible. I did it all with items that I received from the Amazon Vine program. So that included a bed frame, a mattress, rugs to put over the cement floor, a clothing rack with shelves to make a kind of closet thing, privacy curtain, curtain rod, the bedding, of course, pillows, what else? You know, laundry hamper, just all the basics. I created a guest room out of nothing, just with items that I got from the review program. So that gives you an idea of what's there, what's possible. It's just mind-blowing, absolutely mind-blowing. All right, so here's where it gets tricky.